Okay, so back for the second live of the day, live streaming. So that's where we are now. We took a long this morning here. I didn't put the short. We shorted there. Okay. So that's what we had, the call we had today. I took a small long here on this support there, without a lot of how could I say? Without a lot of not confidence, but there was no setup. So there was this level I called earlier as a potential place to get long again or add some long. The best area was this 2360 fib over there, which would be great. We didn't get it, so we stopped right on this price action support there and bounced a little bit from it. I banked very little, like 12 pips or something like that. So this one paid us 80 pips, a little bit more. This one 30 pips. Now long again here. If we don't look lower now, I was hoping to see something lower. I went only half size there. I was really hoping to see lower, but we didn't get it. And now we are 1 hour and a half before New York Open. So we have the US traders back. They didn't push really down the Euro USD. They didn't really bought the Dixie, and I would say that's understandable. If we look at the Dixie, which is important, we can do a little bit of let's say weekly update after last events we had last week and everything. So if we look at that, we have been in that huge move up from this 2021 and an acceleration at the war. So we have this huge move up. I call for a short here, and I say it could be the top for the Dixie for this year, probably for me nearly surely, and probably even for 2023 for the whole year. So this is very important. We touched there, we had a confluence. I can show that to you there. If we look at a bigger time frame, we had a confluence of support and resistances. We had this trend line, that's where we called for a short. We had a lot of fib there. We had everything to get a short trade, and we had this very important 88.60 fib over there. So we stopped there to the pip, touching this trend line a little bit above the other trend line. So now we start to fall after breaking this trend line, which is starting in August 2022. We had 3 touch, so it's a very important trend line. It's the wedge, the upside wedge. We broke through it, we retested it, which is what I call when we broke the day we broke here, which was the 25th of October. I said we need a back test, and then we'll see an acceleration down. And that's what we are looking at right now. So here, the next big thing from traditional trading tools, I mean trend line and things like this, we have that trend line here, which come right to the 50%. So of this, if you see 1, 2, 3 touch, mostly here. I need to make it better, but that's mostly where we have. So the next big time for us and Dixie will be there when we will land in that in that area, and that could be very soon. I said the Euro USD will close the year between 110 and 112, and I still think that's what will happen. You can find that in my last September update. I just said exactly what I'm saying here. I forecasted to be there or here by the end of the year on Dixie. That's the targets we have on Dixie. They are totally unchanged. And with this acceleration we are seeing now, with the economical condition and all what we know, especially the other side of the coin is the political aspect with the election and everything, we could break that very easily and much faster than we expect, even me probably. So it's a question of time. We are now sitting on this ABC 78.6, 76.40. That's where we are now. You can see it very well. We stopped to the peak. By the way, while we are speaking, we will probably look at this one. And from this one, I don't know if we can bounce again because the momentum is really there now. So we would break and first look for this double bottom, but most important for that one-to-one extension at 109.23. Then 107.95, and we would have either the 2-2 extension, the 200% extension here, or the 272 extension there within the end of next month, which is December. So we have to be to keep that whole picture in mind here inside that big ABC down. We could draw at the same time. We could very well draw another ABC here, which would be, I think it's this one, the highest, yes, if I remember well. So we would take this high, these lows here, and this high over there. And you will see we will find, very nice, we will find some confluences. So that's ABC over there. You see we have the 61.8 right to the 76.40, 78.6. And what is marvelous here is we have the one-to-one extension right there with this monthly support and resistances area. So we could break this one and look for that one a little bit lower. We have a lot of info this morning and since last week about the Chinese considering to reopening many activities, stopping the COVID thing, and that's something which is bearish too for the USD in a certain way. So it's important to keep that in mind. I will take off that one, and keep only the original one, that one that I like better. It's a big, nice one with a one-to-one extension over there, 1-to-72, and the other one till the targets for the end of December that I would like to see in this area. So important thing that happened last week. We went up, retested to the peak, the area of the broken wedge, and then we broke down. Concerning Euro USD, we have another important event that happened last week, which is the phase break under the trend line. So on a weekly basis, of course. So it's important to look at these two. Let me find the chart where I have it. So it's not that one, it's this one. Okay, so we had this trend line. You see this trend line here in purple. This is the area that I was looking at for that trend line. I think I have another one a little different there. Okay, so we have it here. So whatever trend line, because the thing with the trend line is we can always draw them in a different way. And that's a little bit not very objective. So that's why it's tricky sometimes. But if you look this one, 1, 2, 3 touches more or less in line with the fourth one here. So we could take the fourth one or not, blah, blah, blah. So, but anyway, what is very interesting is same thing. We broke through that very, very important channel, wedge, whatever you call it. We do not really mind about the name. We came back to retest it last week. We came back inside it, and everybody became very excited by selling the Euro USD with the FOMC and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly on Friday, we had in line or above forecast NFP, but anyway, the Dixie was smashed. And the reason why it was smashed is all the accumulation of very bad economical data we had in the previous weeks, and the approximation, the proximity of the election, which is coming, which is at the end, which will open the book and take off the dust off under the carpet, and the dust will come out to be visible by everybody. When I speak about the dust, I speak about what the way the government has been a little bit giving a better image of the reality of the situation in US, especially speaking only about employment. We saw the unemployment went down. The NFP was good. The unemployment was down 0.1%, but finally there was this reaction, and it happened right on that ABC up. We have there a very nice one, and we stop on Friday to the PIP. On Thursday even, and on Friday we started to the PIP on the 2360 fib of that ABC. What does that tell us? That tells us this ABC is still alive, even if we touch the 100% extension, which is the first target. When we respect the 2360 on the back test after touching either the 61.8 or the 100%, and we come back and we respect it on a close basis, the original trend is still there. It's unviolated. So which means we can consider the next target in that case is 127 extension, and the other one, which would be 161.8, which is right in the area I'm looking at for the medium term, and we would have something around 104. Then we would be a few hundred, another good way, another 600 pips from the 110, 112, which is what I was calling since I think 2 months ago for the end of this year. So I was calling for this area. We could even break it. We could even go higher, but that's the area I'm looking at for the end of year, and that has been unchanged since the last month and a half or 2 months. So for now, to come back in the shorter term view, we are here, we are now struggling in this area, and at the same time, of course, we are struggling in that same area of the Dixie. So we really need a break there. We could see this break. You see, it's the other chart. If we look at those very important special fib I use here, the 61.8, and now the 50% would be the next target after breaking this one. We stopped right on the 8860 fib of this special fib. So now the next target after this move, and after we break really clearly the 61.8, just to show you, we closed on Friday under it, which means the weekly close, just to make it cleaner, with a very ugly candle, the weekly close was under this 61.8, the open and the close, by the way. So that means we should see a continuation, and we should see sooner than later this 50% area, which comes in confluence with this fib, with this trend line that we will have. So that's what we look for. Probably when we would be there, we would see a bounce, probably a shy bounce or something like this, and then we will look for the 38.2 and so on till we get to those targets that I mentioned here previously. So this one is around 105, this one 103 to 102. If we look here, the fib, so the 105 is right here on the 2360 fib. So you see there is a perfect confluence with those fib, and then the other one would be around 103.46, which is 102, 103. So we would have those two fib that would be the target for the end of the year, right here. So we are today the 7th of November, and that's still what we think will get by the end of this year. So we looked at this just to clear up the mind, to look a little bit, not very zoomed in, but on the general price action. And that's what we do always, to have a better view of what's happening. And that's why I was short on Friday, right on this top, and on Thursday evening, right on this touch here and there. We had a very nice short setup on the Dixie, long Euro USD setup at this time. So everything was aligned to get a very good trade.